Hello again everyone, and welcome to the next video in a series where I expose rabbinic hypocrisy, distortions of halacha, and fabrications of new halachas against the Torah. Today I will speak about the prohibition of one Jew using the secular courts to litigate against another Jew. When we look in Parshas Mishpatim, we find that the Torah states, Ve'ele ha-mishpatim asher tosim lifneihem. The Rashi commentary states lifneihem means before a Jewish court only, and not a Gentile court. For one who brings law cases of Bnei Yisrael before the courts of the Gentiles profanes the name of Hashem and esteems the name of the idols, bringing undue praise to them. In Shulchan Aruch Choshen Mishpat 26:1, linked in the description box below, it states, "It is forbidden to appear for trial before non-Jewish judges and in their courts of law, where judicial sessions are held by the civil magistrates, and is equally forbidden even regarding a lawsuit that the non-Jewish judges adjudicate in a manner similar to Jewish law. Even if the two litigants agreed to be tried before them, it is still forbidden to use the secular courts, and whoever appears for trial before them is considered a wicked person by halacha, and is as though he blasphemed, reproached, and rebelled against the laws of Moses." That is a very strong statement written by the Beis Yosef, the author of the Shulchan Aruch. The Ramah over there adds that a Bezdin has a right to excommunicate such a person for committing such a blatant anti-Torah violation, and in fact, if the plaintiff of such action later tries to go to Bezdin, we pay them no attention and do not attend to their case and ignore their petitions. This halacha is absolute, with a clear biblical mitzvah of only using a Bezdin and not secular courts in matters that are able to be handled by a Bezdin, with no conflicting opinions about it. So my question to you is, since we know that statistically it is the women who are the plaintiffs in civil divorce actions 90% of the time, and that these proceedings violate a basic halacha related to Jewish divorce, why then don't we find the rabbis protesting their actions? And not only do they not protest, but in fact evidence from the past decade has shown that rabbis support and encourage their actions. Furthermore, why are only men receiving seruvim, which is a form of excommunication, while the women do not? Even though the Ramah quoted above clearly says that litigating in civil courts is so egregious a sin that it warrants excommunication. Why are some of these women being listed as agunas when they clearly violate halacha, with the Ramah stating that we don't assist them in any way? My regular viewers already know the answer to all of this based upon what I have explained in my previous videos, but I will say it again. On that note, please don't forget to thumbs up this video and subscribe to my channel so I can continue delivering this content to you. Well, you see, most rabbis today have veered away from the Torah in matters relating to Jewish divorce. They either directly violate these halachas, assist violators, or even remain silent to such violations. Chazal have clearly stated that those of us who remain silent in the face of such distortions when we could have protested will be held accountable for these sins by the heavenly Bezdin of Hashem. The rabbis' insistence on turning a blind eye to these women violators while punishing their husbands instead is the direct result of financial bribery or influence bribery, as the Torah states, "V'shoichad lo tikach, ki ha-shoichad ye'aver pikchim v'yisalev divrei tzadikim." The pasuk clearly states that a bribery, whether by money or influence, distorts even the wisest of men and causes him to judge falsely. Since the Ramah states that anyone going to civil court, we pay him or her no attention and do not attend to this case and ignore his or her petition in a business setting, I strongly advise any man who is undergoing divorce and whose wife is a plaintiff in a civil court divorce action to not go to a Bezdin until such time that she vacates all civil court orders or judgments. In this scenario, you are exercising your halachic rights as I've stated above. And even though it is more than likely that the corrupted Bezdin will threaten to issue you a siruv, or declaration of excommunication against you for not appearing before them, do not be frightened by this. My advice to you is to send them the response that you will not be attending the session until such time that your wife vacates all court petitions and orders as dictated by halacha. Pay them no attention, despite their threats that they will issue a siruv of excommunication against you. You should fear only Hashem, and not these corrupted rabbis who should be enforcing halacha, which they don't. Now this brings me to another topic, which is the state of our corrupt bezdins. My research and experience has shown that many Bati Din today have fallen prey to outside influences and have abandoned halacha. This means that you are likely to be cheated of your halachic rights even in a bezdin. So it is important to explain to you the dynamics between going to civil court and to bezdin. Plainly stated, civil courts can never be used to litigate against another Jew, even if these courts are honest and even if they judge cases similar to Jewish courts. This is forbidden by the Torah, period. You are, however, allowed to use a civil court to submit an agreement between parties that was reached between them through collaborative or mediation proceedings, or to submit an agreement or ruling issued by a bezdin. In these instances, you are not litigating in the civil courts, but merely submitting an agreement or ruling issued in a kosher setting. In this manner, you can conform to civil law of obtaining a civil divorce as dictated by law. The fact that I advise you to not go to just any bezdin stems from the pasuk tzedek tzedek tirdof, which the double tzedek indicates that you must seek out honest judges, and if you cannot find them, then you must not go to them. As I have already mentioned in my previous videos about the corrupt practices seen in our bezdins today, the only viable option is to seek out an honest bezdin. This can only mean one that will follow the true halacha and won't bend the rules to kowtow to the feminist trends of today. I'm attaching below a Shtar Berurin form, otherwise known as an arbitration agreement, that is so bulletproof that if accepted by the bezdin, you will likely receive a just and fair outcome in your case. But if the bezdin refuses to allow you to use this Shtar Berurin, and instead wants you to sign theirs, then you must realize that you will be cheated out of your halachic rights and potentially will suffer severe financial and other consequences from their corruptive rulings. The best chance you have is to use a Zabla system. Zabla means that you pick your dayan or judge or arbitrator, the other party also picks one, and both dayanim pick a third one. This system, coupled with the use of the Shtar Berurin attached below, will hopefully render you a just and fair judgment. The reason for this is that the Shtar Berurin has built into it all the halachic rights that should have been afforded to all litigants from the get-go. We are living today in very troubled times where not every problem has a perfect solution. But you should know that the Torah reminds us always, Tomim tia im Hashem Halocho, which means that we must always follow Hashem with purity and naivet, but at the same time, not to blindly follow human beings, especially those with a track record of being corrupt. We mention 3 times a day in the Amida prayer, Hoshiva Shaftenu Kevorishayna. This is where we ask Hashem to return us to a state where our judges are honest and fair and only follow just and halachic guidelines. May we merit to see those days very soon. Thank you for watching, and see you all in the next video.